How am I supposed to rate such 1984 is not a particularly good novel. I guess my point is, don't be fake. I'm not going to think less of you for not liking something you quote unquote should like by literary standards. Welcome back, book burners. We're looking at top reviews of popular books you either burn by or burn through. My name is Ben. Let's dive in. Today's book is 1984 by George Orwell. With an overall rating of 4.2 stars on Goodreads and 5.2 million reviews, let's jump in with the 1 star. Christy says, how am I supposed to rate such I updated my status to say that I was reading 1984. Anybody have any opinions? Almost every one of the commenters wrote about how much they'd enjoy this book and how it was one of their favorite books ever. Why do people lie about certain books? Do they think it makes them look smarter, cooler, more well-read? I'm sure all of you have been in the bookstore talking to a coworker, etc., and they spout off some well-known hip book that they just adore. You know the person, and it's hard to see them reading a book, period, much less the book in question. I guess my point is, don't be fake. Like it? Yay. Don't like it? Yay. I'm not going to think less of you for not liking something you quote unquote should like by literary standards. Rant over. 2 stars. John says, 1984 is not a particularly good novel, but it is a very good essay. As a novel, all the political exposition is heavy-handed and the message completely overrides any sense of storytelling. As an essay, though, the points it makes can be earth-shaking. It seems like everyone who has so much as gotten a parking ticket thinks he lives in a 1984 dystopia. Every administration that reaches for power injures civil liberties or collaborates too much with the media is accused of being Big Brother. Like so many immortalized books with a social vision, 1984's actual substance is so thin that its ideologies and fear-mongering aspects can be stretched and skewed to suit the readers. 3 stars. Kay says, I'm glad I read this book, but I feel like a loser for not loving the most popular sci-fi book on Goodreads. There's so much to like, but the story is very dry compared to Animal Farm, which I loved. Just in case the thought police are reading this, though, I like this one a lot. 4 stars. Federico says, an unforgettable story about the inner strength and inherent weakness of the human spirit, struggling in the most oppressive of worlds. A book that teaches us to love and value freedom and its cost, to cherish independent thought and never let go of the fight. 5 stars. Lore says, this book completely blew my mind. It managed to surpass my high expectations and be nothing at all like what I expected. From the start, the author manages to articulate so many of the things I have thought about but have never been able to find a way to put into words. A common theme occurred to me throughout the book. The good of the many is more important than the good of the one. Whether or not this is true, I can't fully answer. I think most people feel their own happiness is more important than the rest of the world's, and maybe that's part of the problem, but also human nature. I only wish we could all accept one another regardless of belief and culture and not try to force ways of life onto other people. Maybe I'm naive for thinking this way, but so be it. So there you have it. Those are some of the top reviews on the book 1984. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments and tell me which one I should cover next.